to do any kind of note sheet, I think, again, you guys should be okay. This one doesn't have like a ton of formulas or anything like that. So our test is tomorrow, which is the 26th. You can use a calculator. So the first thing we talked about was budgeting, and there's probably not going to be a ton of questions like that. It's going to be similar to what we have right here, where basically I give you guys someone's budget, and I tell you how much they make, and just kind of give me some like information about that. Like, are they going to have enough to live on? Like, would you be able to figure out like their monthly like budget or their yearly budget, like whatever it happens to be in this case. So it says, will you have enough for the year? They tell us some different amounts, why or why not. All right, so if we know how much he makes after taxes, should we figure out how much he makes per month and then do it as a month, or?
No, I just added everything except the health insurance. I just divided that by 12.
Careful though, there's a weekly one in there too.
Oh crap. Okay. Just disregard everything I've said.
So you could do it a couple of ways. You could do it monthly, you could do it yearly. I think monthly makes a little more sense. It's typically what we would do. So if he's doing $30,000 after taxes, that means he makes $2,500 per month. And on the test, I'll be really clear about what I need from you. I'll ask you, you know, what's his monthly pay then or whatever. I'll try to leave you guys really clear, like kind of work on this. Will you have enough for the year? So we can kind of use this monthly information to figure out how much he need for the month, and then, so obviously the monthly doesn't change. Weekly though, then this one is how much per month? 400. Monthly, yearly. So how much is this one going to be for the month?
190.6 would be.
Because you divided it by 12, right? So
I just rounded it up to 192.
okay, so yeah, so that might not be a bad idea. So he rounded up. Yep.
Wouldn't you multiply the weekly one by 52 and then divide by 12 to get a more exact answer?
You could, but I'm thinking that groceries is kind of a rough estimate anyway. If we're splitting hairs that closely, we're probably too close on our budget. Does that make sense? Because I mean, when we say we have, you know, we know about how much we spend per month, there's weeks that we spend more, there's weeks we spend less or whatever. So I'm assuming that that's kind of a rough one. If you wanted to be exact, but I don't ever think of groceries would be an exact where she like cuts herself off at $100. So that'd be kind of weird. But
See, this
all right.
is reasonable amount for groceries.
So we're gonna add these ones up, and that should give us our monthly budget. And we're comparing that to how much he makes per month. So this is what the monthly budget is. I would not make this like unsure, but what do you guys think? Is he gonna be okay?
Yeah. Yes.
What do you think?
I got 2,100.
Did I add something wrong? I don't know.
The same thing as you. I got 4 2s.
Did you miss the 85? I think you missed the 85. Whoops. Just that little thing. All right. What do you guys think? You think he's okay?
Yeah.
Yeah.
He cuts it.
He'll survive.
He cuts it close. Okay, so let's talk for a second, because I'm just gonna be a little bit difficult here. Is there anything missing from this?
That's his monthly.
Oh.
What's his monthly?
Enjoyment.
Enjoyment. Yeah, we've talked about entertainment.
I wasn't know it's your enjoyment.
What's it? Yes. Read that. Okay, so enjoyment, like so in entertainment, we kind of put that category. This is assuming he's just going grocery shopping, he's not going out to eat at all, he's not, you know, doing anything other than just living his life. Like, so, I mean, that's, you know, like maybe that's cutting a little close. There's no savings, like, so I mean, like Clayton figured out how much.
Split it.
So Clayton was saying, I think you figured out it was like $3,000 per year. So, I mean, it's close, I would say. I'll try to make it very cut and dry on the test where you're not trying to leave it, but think about those things that maybe they're leaving out. So I think entertainment should be a category, but I'm someone who I like to go out to eat. I know that's something that I need to build into my budget. Like once a week, we typically eat out at least, because that's something that I want to do as part of like my life. Like it's just, so thinking about that, we talked about that, whether or not that's something like, I mean, if someone has like a club membership, they like to work out, or they know that every week they like to go bowling or something like that, that's something that they have to figure into their budget. We talked about something like cigarettes, something that you do that maybe isn't good for you, but you do it and it's expensive, like it adds up. So we need to include those things. So be careful about missing anything. I don't think on the test I'll have anything like missing that you're trying to figure out, because you don't really know who James is and what he does. Maybe James is a hermit and he just goes home and he doesn't go anywhere.
James works and goes to the grocery store. That's about it.
So he doesn't do anything exciting.
He's just a normal person. That's pretty much me.
All right, it says, uses James' expenses to make a pie chart. So I do want to practice making a pie chart with you guys to remind you guys how to do that. And when we do that, it'd be a good idea, I probably should have left myself a little bit more space here, to figure out the percentages over here. So let me move this guy. We'll have to move all together.
That guy.
All right, so we're gonna figure out the percentages of how much this is. So again, the total was 2222, and so we need to figure out like how much of his amount of his money goes to rent, how much goes to utilities, groceries. And actually out there, if you're ever like looking at budgets or something like that, there's people that tell you like how much of your budget should go to certain things just based off of what works for the most people that they've worked with. But so in this case, James, we would take his rent and we divide it by his total budget. And that would give us a percentage. Oops, I didn't divide by enough twos. So about 48%. And then do you guys remember what we need to do then for our pie chart?
Find the middle.
We have to multiply by 360, so we have to figure out how big of a piece of pie this is going to be. So this would be 174 degrees.
Yeah.
That's almost half of his circle is going to his rent.
So roughly.
So we'll put that on in a little bit. Let's just figure them all out, or if you're, utilities is probably a small chunk, so 85 divided by 22222, whatever. This is about 4%. And again, times 360 will give me my angle, which is a 14-degree angle. So this is utilities. I'm running, it's starting to get kind of crooked here, so make sure. Now groceries are doing 400 divided by his total. It's 18%. And that's about 65 degrees. And again, if you guys don't ever make a pie chart until we do it on the test, if you haven't, I mean, a lot of you guys skipped that in the homework the other day, you're really just setting yourself up. I mean, it's not something that like just comes naturally that we want to know how to make those. So making sure you're practicing it with us, especially right now. So this again is about 14% here, car payment. If you're not seeing how I'm getting these numbers, let me know. 52 degrees. Degrees. What's up? Did I do something?
No. How did you convert the percent into the degree again?
So once I have that percentage, once I divide those numbers, I don't multiply it by 100. I just multiply it by 360. That'll tell me what. Thank you. You guys all raised your hand at once, so maybe you think I made a mistake. But you're all asking the same girl. We have no idea what she's doing. So yeah, when I got it like as a decimal, like before I changed my percent to like actual percent, I just multiplied by 360. Is that
Yeah, also,
okay?
I gotta come on.
Oh my gosh. Okay, let me give you our homework.
Okay. I forgot to.
No, it's okay. But yeah, try these numbers. So like you guys, I like you guys asking me questions. So if you're not figuring out why I'm getting what I'm getting, ask. 'Cause either I'm doing it wrong or if you're not understanding, you're not gonna be able to do it on a test. The yearly health insurance is or the monthly health insurance is $192. And that's about 9% of his overall income. And then again, I multiply that by 360. So that's about 31% or degrees. So what we need to do now is we take our circle and we get out our handy dandy protractor. Again, if you left one behind, there's some up here. If you need to cut it out again, you're welcome to. But we go grab our pie chart.
Can I use the one that's ready to come out?
Sure, unless anyone else wants to grab it. I don't know who's it. It was someone in the middle there, so maybe it was yours. I don't know. So again, we have to try to find the center of that circle first of all. So I mean, you're kind of eyeball that. And once you have that, you want to draw a line, kind of just the starting line, because just to get it going here. I meant for it to be blue, but that's okay. And I'm kind of just going to go around and do my different measurements. So when you guys are doing this,
She has a cheat.
I got to cheat, but it's still, I have to still do it.
Imagine cheating.
Oops, what is it doing?
Something wrong.
Drawing extra lines here. Trying to make it smaller. It's fine. So our first one was at 174, was that right?
Yes.
So that's a really big angle, because we said that's his rent, and it's almost half of what he makes. So we start at 0, we go rotate it all the way around. We're like over here somewhere. So I'm gonna grab my blue here, and I'm gonna go like, just make a little mark at around 174. I look like more like 175. It's really gonna be fine if you're just a degree or two off. It's not gonna like,
Gonna kill you.
it'll be okay. All right, so now what I have to do is I have to connect my center over to that line. And again, you can use the edge of your protractor to kind of help you as a straight edge. I was able to use that here. And then I would write, this is 100 or whatever percentage, so 174 or whatever it was. So this was like 48%, so 174 degrees was my rent. And then we work our way around the circle, so this was like 48%, maybe that'd be better to write on our pie chart, is 48%, but then we take our protractor and we have to rotate it like as with that other, like part as our news, like 0. You get the idea, but we're not gonna. So you can play around with it, make it work, and you're just trying to like draw those different lines. Again, they should all add up to 100. It's probably a good idea to label them right away. If you go back and you're like, what in the world did I do? Unless you went in order, it might be a little bit of a mess. Okay? It is nasty out there right now. I can't tell. Is it like
That's
raining?
not nasty.
Yeah.
It's like sideways rain. Do you see it coming down?
Good thing I pushed when
Leave it
I
outside.
did.
Yeah, it's outside right now.
Alright, let's go.
Because you know how cold it's gotta be with the wind.
Can I go outside?
It's not
It's supposed to rain all day, I thought, but
Did I go outside now?
no,
Why not?
because you'll be wet. Your
Birds flying out there.
your shoes will squeak.
It's not good birds flying out
It's
there.
really annoying. All right, are we okay on pie charts? Is that a little bit better?
Yes.
Sure.
Are you okay with finding your angles? Let us know if you're not. Like if you want to us to help you with it on the homework at all. I believe there is a pie chart you have to do in your homework. Like I said, you probably just have to do one on the test. Oh yeah, there's one. So, and I'll try to help you with this like on the test as well, where I tell you the percent of the total, or like help like have a column for the percent of the total, the degrees of the circle to remind you to do that. Okay? Alright, if you are ready, you can flip the page over. We're not going to finish ours completely just because me being Patsy up here doesn't very use of our time.
Because I'm here till 9.
Not quite that long.
I'm here. I am.
Oh, you're here till 9. Oh, I thought you were saying we were going to be here till 9 making a pie chart. I was like, yikes.
Who knows?
I'm not letting you
Might.
leave until we finish our pie charts. Kidnapping you.
Feels like I feel like there's one math teacher somewhere that's like that. Like I'm not gonna let you leave.
Not just leave. Yeah. Kidnap you.
And then the kids convince the next teacher why they're late and they get in trouble for it.
Alright. Okay, so guys, so measures of central tendency are just the way they describe mean, median, and mode. So if they use those words, that's all that it means. So the mean is the average. Careful with weighted averages. I know a bunch of you guys asked me questions about the weighted averages. If it means that something occurs more than once, you have to like multiply it that number of times. I definitely am going to ask you guys one like that on the test. So the average is where we add up all the numbers and then divide by how many we have. So add all entries. And then we divide by the total number. Now again, your average should make some sort of sense. Like if you're like, I'm figuring out the average of my test scores, and I got B's on most of my tests, and then I have a failing overall average, it's possible you divided by the wrong thing or you missed a number. So like double check when you guys are doing that. If the number doesn't make sense, then go back and think about it a little bit more. Double check your work. Mean is one of those things should definitely make sense when you get the answer. Median is which one? The middle number. So, middle number, but it's got to be in order. And we talked about if there's one middle number, that's the mean. If there's more than one, then we have to take the average of those two. And I think that showed up a little bit in our homework. This one isn't one of those that has two. So if there's two of them, you have to take the average of just those two numbers. And then the mode is the most often occurring. Most often, the T got a little crazy there.
It wants to become a
What's it?
It wants to become a
Yeah.
Let's try to be a cube.
Alright, so we're supposed to find the mean, median, and mode of Pam's quiz scores here. Quiz quest. Squid. Is that new movie or show or whatever was it?
Yeah.
Squid Game? Yeah.
Pretty sure 82 is both mode and median.
Oh, is it?
Yeah, I believe so.
Okay, let's look. So I might as well put them in order to begin with, right? Just to, because we're going to use that anyhow. So 42s are lowest, clearly. Let's see, a 78, 79. 82 shows up a bunch, a couple times, right? Now, one of the things is double check if there's 9 entries, make sure when you line them up that there's still 9, if that's the case, just to double check you didn't make a silly mistake. And Ryan thinks 82 is the middle and the mode.
Yes.
So this 82, right, is our middle number. So it's the mode and the median. It's the most often occurring, and it's our median. Now, I don't know if this should be the case, but technically, that to me, that's saying that in for Pam, 82 is probably like the regular score she gets. She's done better, she's done worse. But if I was saying what kind of student Pam is at 82, she's like a B student basically in this class.
Yeah, she's an 82 out of 100.
82 out of 100, not quite 10 or perfect 100. So did you guys figure out the average? So we have to add up all the numbers and divide by how many we have. If I had to guess, I would guess her average would be lower.
Yeah.
We can talk about why. Yeah, that 42 is not a good score.
Especially if
Pam had a bad day.
She ain't getting to sleep.
No, it wasn't just that's not a subject. She liked it.
So 79.9-ish. Divide by 9, and, or sorry, I did that wrong. 719. Yeah, I put the average, and then I was trying to show you my work. 719 divided by 9 is like a 79.9. So basically, she has a B minus. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Now it says, would it help Pam's grade if she could drop her lowest score?
Yes.
Yeah, I would hope so, right? So if we could drop that 42 out of there, like let's say that's like part of the test policy that you can get rid of your lowest score, get rid of that bad day.
That would be nice.
Yeah, that really would be.
So we can get rid of that.
Is
Only
that?
Miss Dawn can
Do we
go
have
like
that
that.
We could lose that one, and you guys would all choose which one was that was a bad one.
The loans.
Obviously, 93 was the worst.
It was the loans one. That
The
was
loans
worst.
one that was so bad.
That
Yeah.
test sucked. I hated that one.
Mm-hmm. That's
All right. So if we could drop that lowest score, we divide it by 8 though then, because we lose one of those. We divided it by 8. She would have an 84. So rather than a B minus, she'd have a solid B. She'd lose that one grade. Maybe that's worth saying that maybe Pam should retake the 42. She can do that. So obviously it should help her grade if like she was able to drop that lowest score.
Are you gonna do that?
No.
We just learned about you should.
Or you should. I allow you to retake it, so there you go. All right.
That's not gonna be.
So, all right, last one here, talking about a line graph. So this guy's an investment advisor. They give him base salary plus commission. So he gets paid based off the work he does and how much he sells. His wife got sick at the beginning of 2017 and her condition slowly improved. She got better through the balance of the year, the end of the year. I just realized I need to stop this so that I can make sure it uploads. So